The Galactic Council watched quietly from their massive floating citadel above the stars, their eyes scanning the tiny blue planet below. Earth, they whispered to each other, was nothing more than a primitive experiment, a joke in the grand design of the galaxy. "Look at them," said Elder Voran, his long silver robes shimmering in the council hall. "So fragile, so weak, barely able to leave their planet, and they call this progress." Other members chuckled, pointing at the tiny lights of human cities that blinked like fireflies in the darkness of space. "A few sparks in the void, and yet they think they matter," one of them scoffed, shaking his head in disbelief. Meanwhile, on Earth, humans were unaware of the Council's ridicule, living their simple lives, building, exploring, surviving, their greatest struggles unseen and unremarked by the mighty beings above. Yet even in their simplicity, strange things were happening, lights that flickered without explanation, storms that seemed to move with purpose, and rumors among humans of inventions that were ahead of their time, things the Council could not see from above. Elder Voran waved his hand, and a hologram of Earth appeared in the center of the Council chamber, showing human machines, their small aircraft and vehicles, nothing compared to the galactic fleets, nothing that could threaten the Council's power. "Pathetic," one council member said, and the laughter echoed, filling the vast hall. "A species so small, so weak, could never hope to challenge us. They are nothing." Even as they mocked, a tiny shadow passed unnoticed across the hologram, a flicker in one of the human cities, a spark of something unusual, but it was dismissed immediately, for the Council could not imagine any power coming from such a small world. On Earth, scientists worked late into the night, unaware of the eyes that watched them from light years away, building devices from scraps and ideas, dreaming of something more, while children played under the stars, unaware that their world was being judged and laughed at by beings far beyond their understanding. The Council continued to speak, their words sharp, cutting through the quiet of space. "They will fail, as all prototypes fail. This planet is weak, its people are weak, their leaders are laughable." But Elder Voran paused, a faint crease forming on his brow. "Yet," he said slowly, "something about them feels different, almost like they might surprise us. But no, it is impossible. A primitive world cannot defy the galaxy." Councillors nodded, but unease flickered in the corners of the room, an emotion they had long forgotten, for arrogance had always protected them, and the idea that a human world could rise was absurd. Back on Earth, a young engineer stared at a strange machine she had built, unsure if it would work, and yet a small smile crossed her face. She felt a spark of something she could not name, a sense that this world, fragile and imperfect, might one day prove everyone wrong. The Council did not see it, did not notice the tiny sparks of creativity and determination, and so they laughed, mocking humanity without fear, unaware that in their arrogance, they had already set the stage for something they could not control. As the Council dismissed Earth as a failed experiment, a distant observer might have noticed a quiet energy growing on that small planet, a promise hidden in its forests, oceans, and cities, waiting for the moment to rise. And so the mockery continued, echoing across the stars, but in the heart of humanity, a quiet determination was forming, one that would one day make the galaxy tremble. Earth seemed small and weak to the Galactic Council, yet beneath its quiet surface, something was stirring, something they could not see. In secret laboratories and hidden workshops, humans worked tirelessly, their minds sharp, their hands steady, building machines from scraps and old designs, inventing devices no one else could imagine. Among them was Dr. Lyra, a young engineer with bright eyes, who had discovered a way to use energy in a form the galaxy had never seen. She whispered to her team, "This is just the beginning. If we can make it work, we will be ready for anything." The humans did not know the Council was watching. They did not care. Their focus was on solving problems, on creating tools that could help them survive, on pushing the limits of what they could do with their small world. Strange patterns appeared in the skies, mysterious energy pulses that no one could explain. Yet the humans studied them, learning from them, shaping them into something powerful, something that could become their secret weapon. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council dismissed the signals as nothing. Elder Voran said, "These sparks of activity are meaningless. The planet is primitive. The species is weak. They cannot harm us." But one councillor, a younger member named Thalos, frowned. He noticed the unusual energy readings. "They are evolving," he said quietly. But no one listened. The others laughed and returned to their mockery. On Earth, the human engineers tested their new invention, a small device that hummed with energy. It seemed ordinary at first, yet it held power far beyond the understanding of anyone outside their planet. Dr. Lyra and her team worked day and night, testing, failing, trying again, their determination unshaken, Every failure taught them something new, every mistake made the machine stronger. In the council chamber, the scouts reported again. The humans continue to work, but it is insignificant. They are still weak, their machines are simple. Yet hidden in the reports were details no one noticed. Small anomalies in the energy readings, small sparks of genius, hints that Earth was building something the galaxy had never imagined. Back on Earth, a young pilot watched the skies, thinking of the stories of old wars and great civilizations. She felt a stirring in her chest, a sense that humans were capable of more than anyone thought, that even from a small world, they could rise. The council laughed at every new development, mocking human persistence, but persistence was exactly what humans had in abundance. They learned, they adapted, and they grew stronger in ways the council could not foresee. As the weeks passed, the machine took shape, the prototype weapon, hidden beneath mountains and oceans, quietly gathering power, ready to defend the humans if the galaxy ever turned its eyes toward them. And though the council continued to scoff, Earth's hidden strength was becoming undeniable, a quiet force waiting for the moment to awaken, a force that would one day surprise even the mightiest beings in the galaxy. The humans did not seek revenge, they did not seek glory, they only sought to protect their world and prove that determination, courage, and creativity could make even the smallest planet a place of power. And so, the hidden strength of humanity grew, unseen, unappreciated, but unstoppable, the spark of something extraordinary that no mockery or laughter could ever extinguish. The Galactic Council had grown impatient, their scouts reporting back with information that only made them laugh, yet Elder Voron's unease lingered. "It is time to test them," he said, his voice cold. "We will see if this fragile world can survive the touch of true power." Without warning, a fleet of massive warships appeared in orbit around Earth, their shadows casting darkness over cities and oceans. Alarms blared, humans scrambled, and for the first time, the people of Earth realized that the galaxy above them was not watching with curiosity, it was watching with intent to destroy. Dr. Lyra and her team activated the prototype weapon, its hum filling the secret chamber beneath the mountains, lights glowing with energy no human had ever seen before, yet even as it powered up, they could not know if it would be enough. In the skies above, alien ships descended, their weapons ready, targeting major cities and power centers. Humans fought back with what little they had, piloting small craft, setting traps, and using ingenuity to delay the destruction. The council watched from afar, confident. "Their defenses are laughable," one member said. "This planet will fall in hours, the species will be forgotten." But as the first wave of ships fired, the prototype weapon activated, sending a pulse of energy into space, striking the attackers, and in an instant, the lead ships were torn apart, their metal hulls shredded, and explosions painted the stars with fire. The council gasped, Elder Voron's eyes widened. "Impossible," he whispered. "This planet, it has power." On Earth, humans cheered in disbelief, but there was no time for celebration. The battle was far from over, more ships approached, larger and faster, yet the humans adapted, using clever tactics and the environment to their advantage. Dr. Lyra realized the prototype weapon was not fully understood, its energy unpredictable, yet each pulse grew stronger, each strike more precise, as if the machine was learning, as if it knew the stakes. The Galactic Council convened urgently, fear replacing their laughter. "How can a primitive species destroy our fleet?" Thalos asked, still young but wise enough to see the danger. "We miscalculated, horribly." Meanwhile, human pilots navigated ruined cities and burning forests, luring enemy ships into traps, their courage and skill amplified by the mysterious force of the prototype weapon. By the end of the first day, the Council had lost nearly a third of their attacking force, a number no one in the galaxy had ever expected from a planet they called useless. And yet, as the smoke cleared, the humans knew they were only beginning. Their prototype weapon had shown its strength, but the Council would return, stronger and more furious, testing the limits of Earth's defenses and the resolve of its people. The first strike had been a warning, the humans had survived, and the galaxy realized, for the first time, that Earth was not a planet to be ignored. It was a force rising from determination, ingenuity, and the unbreakable spirit of humanity. As night fell, Dr. Lyra stood atop a hill, watching the stars where the Council's ships had disappeared, whispering to herself, "They thought we were weak, they thought we would fall, but they do not know us yet." And far above, the Galactic Council prepared for the next wave, unaware that the humans had only just begun, that the hidden strength of Earth would soon change the galaxy forever. The Galactic Council gathered in urgent crisis, their pride shattered and their confidence replaced by fear. Elder Voron's voice shook as he spoke. How could we have been so blind? This planet, it should not have survived the first strike. The younger Councillor Thalos tried to calm the others. They are not just surviving, they are learning, adapting. Even our smallest attacks are met with unexpected force. But his words only added to the tension, for the other councillors could not believe what they were witnessing. Across the galaxy, warships that once symbolized unstoppable power now lay in ruins, their crews in disbelief, communications scrambled, and sensors filled with anomalies they could not explain, all pointing to one terrifying fact. Earth was no longer weak, it was becoming a threat. Back on Earth, humans worked tirelessly, repairing, upgrading, and improving their defenses. The prototype weapon pulsed with strange energy, almost as if it had a mind of its own, guiding them, helping them, strengthening their will to survive. Council spies tried to gather intelligence, but the humans were clever, hiding their advancements, using the planet itself to shield their secrets. Forests, mountains, and oceans became part of their defense, every step planned with patience and ingenuity. Prepare the ultimate weapon, one councillor demanded. If they destroy our fleet again, we must show them the full might of the Council. But even as orders were given, fear had taken root, for no one could predict what the humans would do next. On Earth, Dr. Lyra studied the prototype weapon, unsure of its limits, unsure if it could hold against the Council's ultimate strike, yet she felt a quiet confidence, a sense that humanity's determination was more powerful than any machine or weapon. The Council debated, shouting, accusing each other of mistakes, realizing that arrogance had blinded them. Every laugh they had shared at Earth now rang hollow, replaced by panic and dread. In orbit, scout ships reported strange energy surges, small human ships moving in ways that defied logic, traps that destroyed Council forces before they could even fire, and the pattern was clear. Humans were learning faster than the Council could anticipate. Elder Voran clenched his fists. We underestimated them. A primitive species should not be able to do this, yet they are not just surviving, they are turning the battle to their favor, he said, voice low but full of warning. On the planet below, civilians watched as their cities survived attacks that should have destroyed them. Pilots maneuvered with skill and courage, engineers adapted machines to counter every new threat, and humanity's spirit grew stronger with each passing hour. The Council realized that brute force alone would not win. Their panic grew, plans were made, weapons of ultimate destruction prepared, yet every move seemed anticipated by humans, every strike countered with cleverness, courage, and a force the Council could not understand. Dr. Lyra whispered to her team, they think they can scare us, but they don't know what we are capable of yet. And for the first time, humans began to feel that the battle was not just survival, it was a chance to prove themselves to the galaxy. The Council's panic spread like wildfire, their confidence shattered, and the stage was set for the final confrontation, a battle that would decide not just the fate of Earth, but the future of humanity in the galaxy. And as night fell across the planet, the stars above seemed brighter, as if hinting at the power that humanity had only begun to unleash, a promise that Earth's hidden strength would soon change the course of history forever. The final battle had begun. The Galactic Council had thrown everything at Earth, their ultimate weapon aimed at the planet. Massive warships filled the skies, lasers cut through clouds, and the ground shook as explosions lit up the cities. But humans did not panic. They had prepared. Every street, every mountain, every hidden laboratory had been turned into a part of their defense, their courage matched only by the mysterious power of the prototype weapon. Dr. Lyra activated the machine, its energy glowing brighter than ever, humming through the planet like the heartbeat of Earth itself. Pilots and engineers watched in awe, feeling a strange connection to the machine, as if it were alive, as if it understood them. Council fleets fired their most powerful beams, but the prototype weapon absorbed the attacks, redirected them, and struck back with precision, destroying the largest ships in seconds, leaving the Council stunned and terrified. On the planet, humans moved with unity, small craft and soldiers working together, setting traps, using clever tactics, showing that even a primitive species could challenge the mightiest power in the galaxy. Elder Voran and the Council watched helplessly. This cannot be. A planet cannot defeat us, he whispered, his voice trembling. Yet the truth was clear. Earth was no longer weak, it was unstoppable. The prototype weapon pulsed again, releasing a wave of energy that swept through the Council's fleet, dismantling ships, scrambling weapons, and sending leaders into panic, their arrogance and mockery now their greatest weakness. In the skies, human pilots performed daring maneuvers, guiding energy strikes, rescuing civilians, and showing courage that the galaxy had never seen before, each moment a proof that determination and intelligence could triumph over brute force. The Council attempted a final strike, a weapon meant to crush Earth forever, but humans anticipated it, their defenses and the prototype weapon working in harmony, turning the attack back on the Council's ships, causing explosions that lit the void like stars. By the end of the battle, the Galactic Council had lost more than half their fleet, their leaders injured, their power shattered, and Earth stood victorious, its people cheering, exhausted but unbroken. Dr. Lyra looked at the sky, at the retreating ships of the Council, and whispered, "They thought we were weak, they thought we would fall, but we are stronger than anyone imagined." Across the galaxy, whispers began. Humans, they survived, they defeated the greatest power, they are not to be underestimated. On Earth, celebrations were quiet but filled with pride. Humans had proven that ingenuity, courage, and unity could overcome any threat, and the small planet once mocked was now a symbol of hope and power. The Council, humbled and shaken, had learned a lesson they would never forget. Arrogance had blinded them, and they had paid the price. And as the sun rose over Earth, its light shining on cities, forests, and oceans, humanity knew their journey was only beginning, for they had become a force in the galaxy, a species that could not be ignored. The story of Earth's triumph spread slowly at first, but soon, every corner of the galaxy would know that the planet once mocked had become the ultimate weapon, not just of war, but of spirit, courage, and determination. And so, humanity's legacy began, the small planet that could, the species that would not bow, and the rise of Earth as a force to be reckoned with had finally begun.